In this lesson, we're going to explore something else you can do with paragraph text that you can't do with artistic text, and that is create bulleted lists. You can see we're still working with the same file from the previous lesson, so if you've skipped to this lesson and you do have the exercise files, go to the Lesson 5 folder, open up geostory2.cdr, and you'll have what I have. I'll get you all caught up. Down here in the bottom right corner, we've got some space for some additional text, so maybe we should put our bulleted list down there. When creating a bulleted list in CorelDRAW, it has to be paragraph text, but the text could already be there. If you've got points that you've entered already, you can turn them into a bulleted list, or you can create your bulleted list on the fly. We'll look at both methods in this lesson. First things first, let's zoom into this area down here. I'm going to press F2 on my keyboard. It gives me my zoom tool. I'm going to zoom into this area by clicking and dragging. That's where I want my bulleted list to go, so I'm going to click on my text tool. And I'm going to click down here in the bottom corner. It gets me inside my paragraph text. Happens to be in columns, and that's okay. It doesn't have to be in columns for you to create a bulleted list. It could be one wide column, multiple columns like we have here. Really, that part doesn't matter, just so long as you know when to turn on and off your bullets. So let's hit return or enter a couple of times to leave a blank line, and we'll put in a title here. I'm going to type in all caps, important points. Turn off my caps lock key, hit enter twice, and that's where I want to start my bullets. So all I have to do now is turn my bullets on. A couple different ways to do that. I could go up to my bullets button right here. See it on the property bar. You won't see this button be available when working with artistic text. In other words, it'll be faded out. But because we're in paragraph text here, we can click on it here. Control M is your keyboard shortcut, or you can go up to the text menu here and click on bullets, because we want to see the bullets dialog box here. So first things first, we have to turn on bullets right in the top left corner. Unless we choose to use bullets by clicking this checkbox, none of these options are available to us. So we want to use bullets. As soon as we do, the default appears, and you can see what default shows up here for me. I've got from the Wingdings font category a round dot. That's the symbol being used. You can see the default size, 10.2, fairly close to the actual size of my text, which is at 12 points according to my property bar. And then there are other things we can adjust. So let's start with the font itself. From Wingdings, you can see there's a bunch of other categories where we'll find symbols, all the way from bookshelf symbols down to the bottom where we see several Webdings and Wingding categories. So let's leave it at Wingdings, and let's choose a different symbol. Clicking the drop down for this particular font category gives us a number of symbols to choose from. There's lots in here. And if we wanted to choose something else like happy faces, there's suns, lots of different symbols to choose from. I'm going to go to one that's kind of like I like this one here, which is my 6-pointed star. I'm going to give that a click, and right away you can see it over here in my text. Why? Because preview is checked off down here in the bottom left corner. If yours isn't, you want to check that off to see what it's going to look like in your actual document. I like that. Now let's adjust the size. Maybe you want it to be a little bit smaller. We can hit the down arrow, or a little bit bigger by hitting the up arrow, or we can just highlight what's there and type in our own value. I want it to be 11 points. I type in 11. I don't press enter here. That would be like accepting all the rest of these defaults and clicking OK. I'm going to hit my tab key. Moves me to the next field and adjusts my bullet size. The baseline shift means is the bullet right on the bottom line along with your text, so lined up across the bottom right on the baseline, or do you want to move it up a little bit? Well, since it's a little bit smaller than my font size, I'm going to bump it up. I'm going to bump it up just 2 points. So 2 clicks of the up arrow bumps it up, and you can see it just moved up slightly next to my flashing cursor. You could use a hanging indent style for bulleted lists. If your bulleted points are going to be more than one line, well, then they'll all line up indented here from your bullet, leaving the bullet hanging out here on the left-hand side. That's the hanging indent style. Each of our bullets we're about to enter is a single line, so it doesn't apply. We don't need to turn that on. Now let's adjust the spacing. You can see the bullet, just like our text, is right up against the frame. If we want to move it away a little bit, we can use our spacing options down here. Text frame to bullet, I'm going to bump that up to 0.05. So it indents my whole list. Now the space between the bullet and my text can also be adjusted. I'm going to bump that down. In fact, I'd like it to be 0.1, so I'm going to select everything that's there, type in 0.1, Now I can hit Tab here, or if I'm done, hitting Enter will lock it in and accept all of these other changes. So I'm going to click OK. Same thing as hitting Enter. And now I'm ready to start typing in my points. So let's do that. Caps lock should be off here. I'm going to type in friendly staff. Hit Enter. How about great service? These are all things we offer at the Green Onion Bistro. Fresh, tasty food. And let's add one more. Excellent value. There we go. I've added my last bullet. If I was to turn the bullets off by going back up to text and bullets, or by coming here to my bullet button to show or hide the bullets, I would actually lose this bullet here next to excellent value. So it's very important to hit Enter one more time to get that blank bullet, and then turn your bullets off by going up to the property bar and clicking the bullet button. See how it turns it off and moves my flashing cursor back to the left so I can continue typing text. So that's typing in bullets on the fly. You make a few choices, select a few options, and then start typing. What if you don't like those options? You decide maybe you made some wrong choices. Maybe the bullet is a little bit too high and you want to bring it down closer to the baseline, or choose a different symbol. Well, in that case, you click left of the first bullet, drag down to the end of the last line, make sure all the bullets are selected, and then go up to text and bullets. This accesses the dialog box. Clicking the bullets button would simply turn the bullets off. So we need to come up to the text menu to make changes. So yeah, the baseline shift is too much. I'm going to knock that down. Actually, I'm going to go right down to 0. I think I like that look better. Thanks to the preview, I know what it's going to look like. I could choose a different symbol, choose a different font category. Maybe I'd like to try this star here. Yeah, I like that better. Once I've made my choices, I click OK to lock them in. There we go. Click down here, and that's the finished product. Now, I also mentioned that if you've already got the points there, you don't have to retype them in bullets. You just select them and turn the bullets on. So the opposite of that would be selecting all of these and turning the bullets off. So this would be a scenario where you've got your points in there already. There's a return. In other words, someone's hit Enter at the end of each line. That'll make them good for bullets. So clicking in front of friendly staff, clicking all the way down to the last one, excellent value. You could go up to text and bullets if you want to make some choices, or just turn the bullets on by clicking the bullet button here on the property bar. You can see it gets turned on using the last options that we selected, and there's how you turn on bullets for existing text. Let's zoom out. Shift F4 allows us to see the entire document. I'm going to go back to my pick tool and click outside the page to see what that's going to look like. Beautiful. So now you know how to create bullets inside of paragraph text.